Hello my friend, how are you? It's Dan the Man here, and I am back from vacation. I had a great time in Mexico. I lived on tropical fruit for 2 weeks and I feel fantastic. I believe that fruit is the best food for mankind. I believe that herbs are fantastic for healing. I believe that nuts and seeds can be very useful in more northern climates or during periods of wanting to gain weight and or strength. Okay, anyways, I was going to answer a few questions. I just made this really long half-hour video where I don't know if you guys like those or not, you know what I mean? But I just kind of ramble on and kind of go everywhere, and those are my favorite because what you get is all these little tidbits and nuggets and stuff that you won't get on a video like this, because I'll just be like into the content. But so all those are going to go to Regeneration Nation, and maybe I'll try to make one for the Insiders Club within the next week or so. Anyhow, this is a message from Gina, and it's a Q&A here, by the way. It says, "Hi Dan, I want to take juice to the office for my workday, but I am not sure how to prepare it to drink later in the day. I've heard that if preparation is not done correctly, you can get sick. It's as simple as filling mason jars with a tight lid or other? Please advise." Okay, now with the juicing, which I highly recommend, juicing is therapy for life, and you should be drinking juice all the time because you're going to want to neutralize acid wastes, alkalize and hydrate the body in order to keep things functioning, flowing, moving, okay, you dig, and energized. Now, if I want to take juice to the office, in which I would, if I was a person, I wouldn't say, I don't have time for this, or I can't do that, or it just doesn't work for me. No, you get a cooler like this, a little Playmate, okay, and you freeze some of those Crystal Geyser gallon jugs, or Trader Joe's has them too. They're plastic jugs with the water jugs, and the best ones are the ones with the plastic handles so that you can move them around easily. I have a huge cooler like this, so what I do is I freeze 6 of those, and it'll last like a week in mild weather, 4 or 5 days in hotter weather, in a giant cooler, okay? And I lay those ice blocks at the bottom of my cooler, and then I cover it with a towel, so that keeps them even insulated even better, okay? But anyways, for you, Gina, what you're going to want to do is get ice blocks. You can even make small plastic bottles. You could use the Fiji bottles or smaller Crystal Geyser bottles to make ice blocks if you have a really small cooler and you only want like 1 or 2 jars of juice. If you want a Playmate, you want to bring like, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 jars of juice, or I think probably 4 would fit in the average sized little Playmate. But you freeze those ice blocks, and then you take your juice and you fill it into your mason jars with the plastic lids. I don't like the metal lids because they eventually rust, and the fruit acids in there can cause corrosion and rust. You don't want to drink any rust, so get the plastic metal lids from my website, regenerateyourlife.org. Order the plastic lids. They're like, I don't even know, like they're nothing, like $3.95 for 12 of them or something. Don't quote me on that, but it's like so worth the investment. They last forever. And then you make your juice, okay, and you can make enough juice for all day or even a couple of days, okay? And then you use a little bit of lime, lemon, orange, or grapefruit juice to preserve it. If you don't want to have I like a lemon ginger blast has a whole lemon in it, or 2 if you're making a big batch. You've got, there's your preservative, okay? Lemons, lime, all the citric acid in citrus fruits are preservatives, okay? That's why orange juice is, unpasteurized orange juice is fine for like a week at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. They've got orange juice, tangerine juice, anything like that. Citric acid is your preservative for your juices. So if it's a juice that you don't want to have a lot of orange or lemon or lime flavor, just a few drops, drip, 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 drip. Squeeze it in, seal the lid, put it in your Playmate cooler, off to work you go. Never have an excuse. You can make enough juice for all day. I've done it many, many, many times. In the morning I wake up, I got all my fruits and vegetables from the store the day before. They're sitting in the cooler. I get them out, I rinse them off, I set it all up. I got my cucumber, my apples, my celery, my cilantro, arugula, dandelion, kale, ginger, lemons. I juice it all up. I've made up to like 8 jars of juice in one sitting. I get a big pitcher, and for most people a nice pitcher will be fine. You take the pitcher and you just mix everything at the end in this pitcher, however your juicing thing is. For me, I got the little Omega. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. When I make 8 jars of juice, I got to use like 2 pitchers, you know. And then I'll just mix everything nicely, evenly. But 1 pitcher will be apt for enough person to make 2 or 3 jars of juice to get through the day. And on a juice feast, you're looking at drinking anywhere from 3 to 8 jars of juice. Some days I can get away with 3 jars of juice with less activity. If I'm really active, I'll need like 8 jars of juice, 8 32-ounce jars of juice. But the juices will last for up to 3 days. Unpasteurized juice is just the subtle vibrational qualities of the living foods. It's very subtle and yet as powerful as power can be. Raw living foods is the way to go. Okay, I hope that answered the question here. Get a cooler, get your ice blocks, make your juice in the morning or at night for the next day, whatever your schedule fits. Put it in the fridge and then put it in your cooler with the ice blocks and you're good to go all day long. There's no excuse not to have juice, you know, a good healthy juice. And you can drink juice all day. Every time you get hungry, knock back another jar of juice, you're golden. You'll see how much it works and how you flush and energize yourself for real. Okay, let's do another question here. Okay, here we go. So this is a good one. This is for Gil. Okay, Dan the man, dude. I didn't even finish the question, but it fits right in with the juicing thing here. Dan the man, dude, I love you. I've been so blessed watching your vids on YouTube. I just bought a Vert juicer, and I just have so much fun juicing. I have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I was a former 3-star chef. I ate a lot of acidic food. I am still overweight. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I'm pretty sure we're all open-hearted and it's all good. 5'7", 222 pounds. I should be at 165. True dat. My body was at a high acid state. I bought some test paper. My paper turns blue, meaning I am in a high alkaline state. I do take some alkaline supplements along with my juice. Is it possible to do more harm than good if my pH goes beyond 8.0? Dude, I will never be as slim as you even at healthy state, but I see the health in your eyes and being. Okay, so it's really hard to get too alkalized. The pH papers are not really that reliable because you never know if you're flushing acids or not. You know, those types of things, you really have to go by your own intuitive knowing. And no doctor has a test either. How do you feel? Do you feel tight? Do you feel stiff? Are you overweight? Do you have toxicity? Is your brain fuzzy? You've got acidosis, congestion, clogged up. You should be feeling the electricity of life flowing through every blood ventricle, every nerve ending, and until you do, you can cleanse and heal and regenerate. That's why the great masters did fasting. You know, fasting is the deepest way to squeeze the sponge to get all the debris, all the heavy metals, all the fried fats, all the acid waste matter, all the God knows what's in our foods these days, the crap in the air we're breathing. You know, most of us won't go that deep, but until we do, we should all be living off the electricity of the raw living foods, the fresh, okay? Type 2 diabetes, easy to get rid of. If I had type 2 diabetes, I'd go on a green juice fast. I'd eat like half fruits and half vegetables in my juices, and in about 7 days I'd no longer have diabetes. That would be me. That would be most people, type 2. Type 1, you're going to have to work pretty damn hard, you know. Because you can regenerate anything. You could bring the energy up and bring it up and get the glands functioning again and get the debris out of your overworked organs. If you're going to eat the king's food, then you better be ready to suffer the king's diseases. But if you're going to eat like a peasant, you better be prepared to have health. So the simpler that you eat, the better you're going to feel. Mono meals are the best. 2 or 3 sorts of food at a time. You start mixing everything, cooking everything, it's going to be having diarrhea, you're going to be clogged up, headache, stiffness, pain, fuzzy head, no clarity about your purpose or your vision in life, big stomach, congested heart, hair's going to get weak and fall out, going to go gray, plugged up, no circulation. You want circulation, beauty, energy, nervous system flow, divine connection, then you better want to go on the clean, raw, living food diet. This world is in desperate and dire need of some serious life regeneration. I would use fresh fruits and herbs as my medicine. Hippocrates, the dude who started the whole thing with the Western medicine, which does exactly the opposite, do no harm, they're killing everybody, and they're loving it because it's the right scientific thing to do. In other words, it's making some very big bad people a whole crap pile of money, and sickness and death is a big booming business. Are you going to be a part of that game? Not I, said the fly, because your greed and your filth and your ignorance, you can just keep that off of me, because I'm going to go out, enjoy the sun, and if it's snowing, I'm going to go grab my board and hit the slopes. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep the circulation to my ding-dong. I'm going to keep the circulation to my head. I'm going to keep my heart from blowing out of my chest. I don't want to get fat. I don't want to get weak. I don't need to have joint problems because I love doing yoga. Don't take away my love of this life by trying to feed me pills and nasty food and dead food and chemicals and pesticides and fried foods and carbohydrates and gluten and genetically modified foods. And I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get some organic oranges. And that, my friend, is dining. That is dining. Oranges, papayas, coconuts off the tree. Those are God foods. Your body is designed to absorb the color, electricity, the energy, your nervous system, your GI tract, fruits, baby, and herbs to balance you out. There's no way that I can tell you any other different because I just ate fruit for 2 weeks in Mexico and I feel fantastic. Your skin gets nice, you do not burn, because if you have acidity in the body, you will sunburn. If you have clean, clear, healthy blood flow with high antioxidants from a 100% raw food diet, you won't burn in the sun. It'll just turn right to a tan. Can you dig it? I cannot emphasize enough, if you're living in a human body at this time and you want to feed that human body the best thing it can do so that your soul can operate here on earth and you can stay flexible in your mind, body, and spirit, then you want to be on the raw living foods as much as possible. Now it's cold as I'll get out in certain spots and we live a very unnatural life. We are tropical animals. I was in Mexico, I didn't wear shoes unless I had to, and I didn't wear clothes except shorts if I had to, and a lot of the time I was at the nude beach, and I can tell you right now, you can open coconuts nude on the beach with the sun on your behind and you can say to yourself, this is how human beings were meant to live. And then you come back to the world and you do your job and you help people and you get back to the cold and you, whatever you got to do, steam up your veggies and stuff like that. But when you get a chance, you eat your raw foods as much as you can. I will tell you, I've heard the arguments about eating dead animals makes your brain bigger and weird, crazy, wambajan insanity like that. But I'll tell you what, if we've been cooking foods maybe for 400,000 years, what in the heck did we do for the millions of years before that? Oh, we ate raw. So have we adapted to cooked foods? Nobody I know has, because when they're pooping out diarrhea and they're all busted up and they've got every disease known to man with all kinds of prostate problems and problems with their joints and headaches and addicted to everything and strung out and can't get any real pleasure out of life except for the moment-to-moment titillation of the vanities of consumption. Simplify and learn that the golden power is you. You are the golden light. Do you want to snuff out your fire with a bunch of slime sludge? I mean, I like my style. I like the way I live. I like the food that I eat. Yeah, dining out is cool. Is it worth the diseases? Is it worth the addiction from the fast food restaurants? You don't know what these dudes are doing. I talk to chefs all the time. They're like, you don't even want to know what goes on behind the scenes. You want to go to a restaurant where you can get pure, fresh, wholesome foods? You come to the Life Regenerator restaurant, because he ain't going to use nothing but the freshest, rawest, wholesome ingredients. You know what? Nothing's going to be rotten. There's not going to be animal blood on anything. There's not going to be salmonella. It's going to be fresh, wholesome food. Because when you cook it, you can throw some rotten stuff in there. Did you know that? You can throw, whatever, eggs that have been sitting on the counter, or meat that's been sitting up, or vegetables that are wilted and it's gross. And they're just going to cook it anyway, so what's the point? And they slide that in there. And then all the chemicals and the crap and the cheap, because they want to make money. So they get the cheap filler junk and put it in your food, and then you eat it, and that goes into your body, and the consciousness of that goes into your body. No way, dude. I'm going to the tree. I'm plucking the coconut. I'm going to the store. I'm getting the oranges that are fresh. I'm cutting them open. I'm trying them. I'm feeling the sweetness. I'm going to the deal. I'm saying, hey man, can I try one of these mangoes? Oh, this melts into my face. I'm buying all of them. I spend $60 on mangoes. Does it look like I'm dropping a bead of sweat? No, because this is the golden power of the divine life. Because we are the fruitarians. I mean, do I look like I'm falling apart here? I love my muscles, man. Because I just eat fruits and vegetables, and you're supposed to like wilt up into this little toothpick figure. I'm a thin dude, but I can do pull-ups and lift weights, even though none of that really matters. It's the divine connection that you get from the raw living foods. I'll let you go now. Hope you can dig it. I'm all about the fresh. And you should be too, because you and your cage or your vehicle that you're living in is going to function off the light, or you're going to destroy it with the not light. There's only two directions you can go, upwards and outwards, or you can go down to the bottom of the box, into the contraction. So you can expand into your fullest, highest, truest self of light of life, or you can contract into the lower energy fields of decay and death, entropy. You know which suggestion I'm going to say. Go inward. Find the golden light. Stop doing the things that are hurting yourself. Stop doing the things that are taking away your most precious, valuable gift, which is this moment of life that you have. Do your best to live the best way that you can. Okay, and cultivate the raw food way. The fruits and the vegetables. Keep the water in your fruits and vegetables. Dehydrate, okay, if you want to, but I don't even want to dehydrate the living water out of my foods, because I don't need to emulate those cooked food meals and stuff. At first, for transition, maybe, but my highly suggested is learn to love fruit, and learn to pick it out, and learn to make epic, smooth, creamy green juices that just soothe your body on the way down, heal you. All that stiffness and pain from all the acidosis and inflammation and congestion and crackers and bread and donuts and candy and cakes and sugars and genetically modified foods and deep fried fats and all this junk that's just plugging you up, slowing you down. You don't ever want to feel like going out to play outside. And people call it exercise, but that's ridiculous, dude. I gotta go. I want to ride my bike, go for a run, do some push-ups, do some yoga, stay fit, trim. Make a video. Have a good life. You dig? Have a good life. Give this video a thumbs up and get ready for this thing to rock and roll, because the world needs life regeneration. And I'm right here, baby. Anyways, we'll do some more of these Q&As later. Thanks. Peace.